hello, and welcome to the Congo Hour. I say welcome back to the Congo Hour. It has been, Wayne and I were just talking about how long it's been since we've been on 28 together. I think it's been at least 4 years,
Yes.
Waynna.
Yes.
We are so excited to be back on Channel 28 on each and every Sunday. We missed you all so much. It was such a good feeling, Waynna, having people stop us almost daily, just saying how they appreciate the show and they love watching us. They love Sammy's Corner, how they love the Student of the Week, how they love, our interaction with each other.
Yes.
And we are back. So we're bringing back Sammy's Corner. We are bringing back the Student of the Week, and we are bringing back everything that you love about the Congo Hour. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please share the great news that we are back. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. We are back on Channel 28 each and every Sunday.
I'm so excited too.
I
I
know.
think I'm more excited than
I
think I missed it more than you because I was going longer
Yes,
than
you were. Yeah, I couldn't. It's crazy because we were just talking about that, and I don't remember doing the show without Waynna.
Oh.
And I did it for almost a year without you.
Maybe longer than
Maybe
that.
longer, and I don't even remember that. So
Yeah.
that's the kind of connection that we have. So we're just looking forward to bringing that connection to all of you all. And if you ever have any recommendations, any suggestions, if you want to ever be a part of the Congo Hour, Waynna will give you her cell phone number, as she always has, so you can call her directly at any time. And just let her know that you want to be a part of the show. Let her know that you enjoy the show or how we can do better.
I think in my contract I'm going to get a phone for
no
the
contracts.
Congo Hour.
No contracts. So this hour we're going to talk about council. We're going to talk about city council. I am now city council president. So thank you. I haven't had a chance to thank everyone. So thank you so much for just believing in me and supporting me throughout my entire council career, but especially as becoming a city council president. So we're going to talk about some council issues. I think it's really important that we just be very informative about what's going on in Wilmington, how people can start to engage more, how people can hold me responsible, hold other elected officials responsible. I think that's extremely important. We're going to talk about family. We're going to talk about the community. We're going to talk about so much. So what's first, Waynna? What's first on the agenda?
Well, I think I just want to, and I have to go back to this because even now, when I see people coming and going, they say, oh my gosh, like you don't look like all that you've been through. And oftentimes I forget, like I was really sick at one time in my life. So just blessed and grateful that God brought me through all that He's brought me through to bring me right back here with you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was just so excited to be back. I guess I want to let everybody know about my family. My kids are doing great. The oldest is Max. He is 22 now. He's down at Delaware State University, about to graduate in May. And it's so awesome, Waynna, because he was at FAMU. He transferred from another college that he went to straight out of high school, but he went to FAMU for about a year. But he wanted to graduate where I graduated from and where his mother graduated from and where my dad graduated from and his aunts and great aunts graduated from. And it was a total shock. Nobody knew that he was going to just transfer, and he just wanted to be a part of the legacy. So that was such a great feeling. And
Max is such an awesome young man.
Yes, he is.
He really is.
Yeah. And he's always been around the family business. He's always been around the funeral home. Wasn't sure if he really wanted to, follow in the footsteps, never put any pressure on him. Because my parents never put any pressure on me. I always had to work. I had to do something, but they were never like, you're going to be a funeral director. So I never put that kind of pressure on Max. So around the same time that he transferred to Del State, he also was like, hey guys, I want to go to mortuary school after Del State. We were like, what? We were like, oh, that is so great, Max. So these last few months have been very exciting, just kind of getting him in place and helping him to find his way, in the family business. And we're looking forward to him starting mortuary school probably in September after he graduates from Del State.
He'll do extremely well.
Yes, he will. He will.
Yes.
And he's such a people person. Like, he's really stepped up as far as like when he's working funerals, and he's not as shy anymore. And sometimes we have several funerals going on at the same time. So I can't be at all of them. So I would put him at one. And he was just like so anxious to do what I guess what he's seen me doing for the last, you know, since he was young. So he would get up there and start making announcements at the end. He was just like, you know, just jumping in, taking charge, and the staff really, really appreciated it. Because he's not a boss, you know, he just wants to be a leader. He wants to be there to help and serve the families. And he's just so proud of himself because he's getting so many compliments just on his disposition and his humbleness, and how he's really just stepping into my shoes and how I step into my dad's shoes. So that's really, really a good feeling.
I'm sure it is.
It is. And then Morgan, she's about to graduate from some St. George's. I know. So she is 17 years old. And I gotta have him back on the show.
Okay.
So you all can see him. But she's about to graduate from St. George's Tech. She got accepted to her #1 choice Spelman. She so excited about going to Spelman. It was funny, we were on vacation and she wasn't expecting to get the letter, you know, of yes or no for like another day or so. And she just happened to, we were in the same room and she just happened to be going through her phone and she opened up an email, not thinking that this was going to be the letter. She just thought it was like some type of correspondence from Spelman. She opened it and she was like, I was like, what? She was like, I made it. So I got to show the video. We just both started dancing in the room. Oh, it was awesome. And she wants to be a brain surgeon.
Yes.
She's a great student. Got that from her mother.
Most definitely. I didn't want to go there when you talked about Max going to Del State.
You know how we do. We keep it totally transparent and honest on here. But yeah, her mom just made sure that Morgan knew the importance of studying and doing great in school. So she has like a 4.2 average. So she does extra credit stuff. She does volunteering. She's a really, really good student. She's annoying as a daughter, but as a student, she is great. So we have to be very, very proud of her. So, and I gotta give a shout out to her mom, Takia, for just instilling that determination. You know, when she was very young, she's always been very self-motivated.
Yes.
And never really had to ask her if she did her homework, you know, if she's studying. She just always kind of did it on her own. So she's excited about going down to Spelman. She's also working in the family business. She doesn't want to be a funeral director, but she's co-oping.
Okay.
So, you know, part of their journey at St. George's is they have to co-op their senior year. So she's in the office answering the phones and, you know, helping us out on services. So that's a good feeling too. Then Milan, she is in 7th grade. She is 12 years old now. She is taller than me.
Yes, she is.
She couldn't wait to be taller than me. She's probably like this much taller than me, but she could not wait. Over the last 6 months, she's like trying to measure our heights every time we see each other. It's like, oh, give me a break. You're not tall. I'm trying to stand on my tippy toes, so I'll still be taller than her. She's also a great student. I'm just so happy to, you know, be a proud father of all 5 of my children. Then Mason, he and Mariah, they're at Friends School. Mason is in 6th grade, 5th grade, one of those grades. What grade is Mason in?
I don't know, Trippi.
I get them all confused. Mason is in 6th grade.
Okay.
So he's doing great at Friends. Mariah is in 4th grade, same thing. So we definitely have to dedicate a show where they just come on and we can bring little Princess Nye on.
That'd be nice.
You know, just so the community can really get to see how much they have grown and how proud they are. They should be of them because they're all just doing great things. So, I mean, enough about me. Let's talk about you and your family. And
okay. All right. So I'll start with Amber. Amber is my oldest. She's 38 now. She's probably gonna be mad at me for telling how old she is. She's 38 now, but I'm really proud of her. She works at a local bank, I won't say where, and she got promoted to VP of a department. So I'm extremely proud of Amber. She is a awesome daughter and a wonderful mother.
Yes, she is.
My baby Hunter is 28. And he's still DJing all over.
Yes, all over is an understatement.
Yeah, so I'm really proud of Hunter. And then Anaya, Princess Nana, she's 17 as well. She'll be graduating from Padua this year. And I don't have permission yet to say where she's going, but I'm excited to where she's going. So maybe when she comes on, she can share where she's going to go.
That'll work.
Yeah, so I got a small family.
Not really. Not really. You have a huge extended family.
I definitely
yes,
do.
you do.
You know what, Trippi, on that note, and I don't want to go sour, but this year, Bishop Morton, my forever mother-in-law, passed away. So that's been a little challenging for me.
Yeah, I'm sure to all of us, to the entire city, she was just such a staple.
Yeah.
And that's not even probably the right word to use for her. She was just everything to so many people. Huge loss, but she left a lot, you know, she deposited a lot in all of us. So we definitely have to make sure that we are carrying on her deposits and making sure that we are honoring her in the way that we treat each other. And it's funny because when I became council president, I reached out to her because we always say a prayer in the beginning of the meeting. So I wanted her to write the prayer. So we still, you know, we've been saying her prayer at the beginning of every council meeting.
And she was so proud of that. She shared that
with
me.
Yeah,
she did,
so.
yes.
And in her prayer, she just talks about us being respectful, just, you know, the way that she was and the way she wanted people to be towards each other. You know, servants of the community. So just make sure that when you are watching a council meeting that you know that prayer is from Bishop Aretha Morton.
Oh.
And I guess, you know, talking about council, you want to take a break? You want to just keep going into?
Let's keep on going. It's been a minute.
It has been. Yeah, we owe the community a lot. So we might not take a break this whole time.
No,
right?
we're gonna take a break.
We're gonna take a break. Okay, all right. So I guess, you know, just talking about my experience on council and my experience as council president, it is very, very rewarding. Just kind of getting to meet a lot of people, and, you know, meeting heads of different organizations and businesses who want to come to Wilmington, who want to kind of partner with Wilmington, and just getting a better grasp on, you know, how the city works, on how the county works, and how the state works. It's been a very, very rewarding journey so far. Looking forward to continuing if the community will have me. In the beginning, it was challenging because of, you know, people think differently.
Yes.
And there are 13 of us on council, and everybody thinks differently. So it's hard. Well, I have to try not to take anything personally, but continue to serve and continue to do what I think is right. You know, like regardless of my relationships with people, I just always want to make sure that I put the community first and that I do what I think is best in my heart and not rely on relationships of what like a politician should be or how a politician should vote. And I think that is why I'm still here, honestly, because I haven't always been like the best council person. You know, I've had my trials and tribulations on council, and most people know about them, but I don't shy away from them because I think that has made me who I am. And I think that besides, you know, all of the trouble that I've had on council, that people still knew that I was in it for the right reason. And they still had the kind of faith in me just to continue to re-elect me. And so that means a lot. So again, I just want to thank everyone who supported me, and even those who don't, because the people who don't, I think it's important that we allow ourselves to be open to criticism, because it'll make us better. So if I'm not doing something that I should be doing, I'm always open to criticism. And I think that especially as an elected official, that it's important that we're able to have those difficult conversations where everybody's not saying great job, where people are saying, hey, you didn't do a good job this time. This is how you could have done better, so we can think about it and process it and figure out how we can do better. But I think that's what being an elected official is all about.
Yeah, I'm very proud of you. I really am.
Thank you.
And I say that because even prior to you being on council, just you as being my little big brother, when I go through things, you always encourage me to do the right thing, no matter if I was right or if I was wrong.
Right.
So just watching you on council and knowing that everybody's not necessarily going to agree with the decisions that you come up with and how you handle it is definitely, I don't know, it just does something to me just watching you on there. Like, oh, look at Trippi.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's funny, that's a little fun fact. We were talking before we came on the show about how we don't like watching ourselves on TV. Like, I have never seen a council meeting. They're recorded, but I've never gone back and watched one. Like, I've never seen the Congo Hour. I remember one time when I was home, I don't know if I was sick or something, for some reason I didn't do the show, but you weren't. No, I think it was, I don't know what happened, but I saw myself on the show. I don't know if it was like a recording. I don't know what it was, but I was going through the channels and I saw it. I was like, oh my goodness, let me hear him change the channel because I'm just not comfortable with seeing myself on TV. You know, I was on TV every week and now I'm on TV even more on council. But it's just something I wonder
what that is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the same way, right?
Yeah.
I never knew that about her, about you. So that was kind of funny. We were just talking about that. But I guess I would want, if I had one ask as an elected official and as council president, I would want people to be more engaged with what goes on in the city. You know, it was great, and it's, like I said, I'm very thankful that people had the kind of faith in me to put me in this position, and they trust that I would do the right thing. But I think it just sets up a totally different dynamic when people show up. Like when people show up to meetings, to community meetings, people show up to council meetings, and people show up to committee meetings, just to let the council members know that, hey, we need your support on this issue, or hey, you know, we're watching you about this issue. So I, if anything, I would just want people to be, like, to come to the council meetings more. And even if you can't come in person, you can tune in virtually and just give us your feedback and make your voices known. I think that's extremely important, because sometimes as elected officials, I think that we forget. You know, we get kind of complacent and we forget why we're really there. But we can't do that if people are looking right back at us.
Very true.
You know, so I get that would be my one ask, just to become more involved in, you know, in city council and in county government and the state government.
So I am the president of the 3rd District Neighborhood Planning Council.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I wholeheartedly agree with you, the importance of not only the community being involved with council, but council being involved in the community and keeping us abreast on things and not like finding things out in different pockets and not directly. So
okay, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Well, so I guess if I had to ask of my colleagues, and not only on council but all elected officials in Delaware, I think that we have to be, you know, I'll keep it to council for now, then I'll expand on it. I think a lot of the issues and a lot of the concerns that our residents have, they're not really city council related. A lot of them are state related. They happen, the change happens on the state level. And sometimes as council members, I think that we don't use our voices as strongly as we should. Like we might not be able to directly change a law or to create a law in the city.
But you can go to legislation.
We can create enough. We can go to our colleagues in Dover. And if they're not doing the right thing, we can collectively, as a body, as a council, we can express our concern and express our voices. I think, again, sometimes we just get caught up in relationships, and we don't want to offend each other. We don't want to get each other angry, or we feel kind of in debt to a certain person. So we really have to take ourselves out of it and realize that this is what council member Mike Brown used to always say, like, this seat is the people's seat. It's not our seat. You know, so I think that if I had one ask, that we just realize the power that we have as elected officials, and especially as Black elected officials. I think it's really our responsibility to push and to create and to support and demand really a Black agenda, because we really, every time somebody says, you know, I love Wilmington, but, or I want to move to Wilmington, but, or I want to work in Wilmington, but, usually that but is around the violence, or it's around our school districts not being up to par. So I think that we really have to make sure that we are using our voices to make sure that, like, our public school systems are properly funded. I don't think they ever have been. I don't think that we are strong enough when it comes to that. Like, we might send resolutions down, we might voice our concerns, but I really think we have to almost be disruptive in order to create some, like, significant change in a way that our city, how it operates. And I realize that everybody's not ready for that, but I think that we have to try to get ourselves ready and to help each other to understand why we have to be ready, because we are at a point in time where there are so many Black and brown elected officials that we just can't miss this opportunity to really create some type of systemic change in our city, in our county, in our state.
So I believe, because that's where your heart is, that you will be the one that needs to initiate it to make sure that it happens.
Right, and I have. Everybody's just not ready to hear that conversation yet, but I never stop. And I will never stop having that conversation, because I think it just takes time for some people. It may have taken time for me. I grew up under my dad and my mom. My dad, he's just, like, people who know my dad know my dad.
Yes.
Like, he's very, very community oriented. I wish that he had gotten into politics, actually, because he's extremely intelligent, and he's very vocal, and he knows how to communicate. He's a great communicator.
I thought at one time that he was going to.
Yeah.
I mean, years back.
Did you?
I really did, yeah.
So I kind of grew up under him, so I know my experiences are different from others. So I just have to understand that everybody's at a different place, but we have to help each other get to a place where we're more effective as council members within our city.
Most definitely.
All right, so you want to take a quick break now, or you want to keep on going?
I say we take a break.
Want to take a break?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so we're going to take a, go ahead, Waynna, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, thank you. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
DETV has been Delaware's premium provider of creative digital and broadcasting solutions that bridges communities and connects people. We create great stories for all audiences. We deliver independent news throughout Delaware. We are digital platform innovators. And we develop marketing and sales solutions so you can stay connected to your audience. Now, why do we do what we do here on DETV? We do it because we care. So, keep watching and follow us on all of our social media platforms. Remember, DETV, online, on air, on time.
Every issue that you care about,
every issue that I care about,
and every issue that affects our daily lives is impacted by one simple action:
a vote. As the Delaware Voting Rights Coalition,
we stand ready to protect and expand access to voting.
Because our communities deserve a democracy that works for all of us.
Learn more and join us at aclu-de.org/DVRC.
Government doesn't make a move without an agenda, some type of plan. The problem is we haven't been on the agenda. Sometimes we're overlooked. Sometimes our interests aren't the interest of those in power. I'm your host, Kerwin Gaines, on DETV's new show, The Agenda. We're going to do our best to ensure that you, Delawareans, are knowledgeable about what's going on in the Assembly. Federal government, local government, it doesn't matter. We're going to do our best to ensure that folks that make the agenda on a daily basis have to answer for it. Let them explain what they're doing. If it affects you, it's on the agenda.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. I hope that you are enjoying the show thus far. Trippi and I are going to talk a little bit more about City Council.
Yeah, so yes. So as many of you probably know, some of you may not know, we have had pretty rough year on council with 3 former council members passing away. 2 of them extremely suddenly.
Yeah.
The first being Rashima Dixon, who was a really good friend of mine, and just a great council person, just a great person. She passed away. It was a shock to the entire city, because she wasn't from Wilmington, but she came here and just kind of jumped right in
like a storm,
right? And just like she just took Wilmington by a storm, by her just being who she was. She was extremely smart and extremely involved in council matters. And when she passed away, it was hard on all of us, and extremely hard on the entire city. Then we had Councilmember Loretta Walsh pass away. She had been ill for quite some time, but she was a council member who she had been an elected official for over 30 years, I think, and just had an extremely loyal support team. And she was sick, but still, when someone passes away, it was still hard, for her family and her friends and on council, just kind of trying to process Rashima's death. And then, a few months later, Councilwoman Loretta Walsh passes away. And then,
My friend.
yeah, and then a couple months later, maybe not even a month later, council member Linda Gray,
Yeah.
passed away. And just that Sunday before, she was at the senior ball, just having a good time, dancing and just being herself. And a few days later, she's in the hospital, and then she passes away. And it was very hard on us as a council, but I don't want to put us at the forefront. I'm sure that, we still are praying for their families and their close friends. But it was hard, just being just on council and just having so many deaths.
It's
just
like your family members.
Yeah, just back to
passing,
back.
right? Yeah.
And just seeing, where they used to sit, that chair being empty for a while. So it was hard, but we all stuck together. We made it through, and we were responsible for appointing new council members. We can talk about that process too in a little bit, but so we were responsible. So council was responsible whenever there's a vacancy on council, and there's not an there's not an election coming up within like 6 months or something like that. Council has to appoint who the next council person will be to replace that former council person. So we had to do that 3 times within like 5 or 6 months. So we appointed Councilmember Letitia Bracey, Councilmember Vincent White, and Councilmember Al Mills. And kudos and props to them, because they came in and they jumped right in. They were eager to learn. They had all previously been very involved, with their communities, either on the city level or on the state level. So really looking forward to. It's been a joy so far working with them. But just kind of getting back to one of our initiatives this session, and it really started the last session, is trying to come up with a reparations team, task force. You want to explain to people what reparations is? You want me to do it, or
you do it?
I feel like I'm talking too much. It's usually
You're not talking.
I'm not talking too much.
No.
I feel like I'm talking. Y'all think I'm talking too much? Yeah, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna sit back and let Waynna go ahead and explain what reparations is. No? Okay, so reparations.
So I was gonna say, cut. Don't be throwing me under the rug like that.
So this is why I miss. This is what makes the Congo Hour the Congo Hour. So reparations is an ideology around. People have different thoughts around it. Some people think reparations. Well, I guess at the very foundation of it is, how do we repair what has been done to African Americans, politically, financially, just all across the board since the end of slavery.
Do you think that it can be repaired?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. I don't think monetarily. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think that. So the task force in different states have been requested to come up with what they think reparations should be, whether it's giving people who are descendants of slavery, financial assistance. Whether I think it should we really have to change the systems that have kept us in turmoil for so long. I don't think that we can. I think some state, I forgot what state it is, but they just came up with a monetary amount of like $5 million per person. I don't think that's real. I don't see how that happens. Maybe I just don't know. Maybe I need to be educated. If that's the case, show me the money.
I was going to say, where's
show me the money?
my money?
But I think more realistically, and I think that we really need to change systems that have just prevented us from being on an equal level. First, I've always talked about this, is our school system. I think if we're really sincere about doing better, we have to start funding and properly funding our public school system. People should, and we're such a small city, such a small state, that I just think that everybody knows each other. All of the elected officials know each other. We're just a very close community. And I just believe that's why I think that it can be done, that if we're really sincere about it, if we hold each other accountable, we can make our school system the best in the country. People should want to move here because of our school system. Now we have the opposite, where people may want to work here, but they want to live in Pennsylvania right over the line because Pennsylvania has a better school system.
Right.
So I think that's first and foremost. Like, we have to understand the importance of funding our school systems, our public education system.
Including teachers getting paid.
Yeah, especially teachers getting
Okay,
paid. Especially.
yes.
That has to be at the front. I know they just got a raise, so kudos to Governor Carney. But they need more.
I was going to say that's still not
Yeah,
enough.
they need more. The responsibilities that they have are unbelievable. And I didn't really understand it. You always hear stories, but I did not understand it until I actually went to a school recently and saw, because my little cousin was acting up.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go sit in his class, so he knows, I'm watching him. He can't be disrespectful to the teachers or to his classmates. So I'm sitting in class, and I just see how the kids are acting, and it was unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was seeing and what I was hearing, and the handcuffs that teachers are placed in because they really can't discipline like they did when we were growing up. They can't say too much to these students. Nope. They definitely can't touch them, and that's a fine line.
Know that.
Right, and the students know that, and they take complete advantage of it. And the students know that a lot of times their parents are going to be on their side no matter what. And I couldn't imagine. I would love to be a teacher. I couldn't imagine being a teacher in today's environment.
I don't think I could.
Yeah, it's extremely challenging. Yeah. So I think they deserve so much more money than they're getting, and I think that they need smaller classes. I think they need teachers' assistants in every class, but all that has to come through proper funding. So until we're able to, and we have to, like right now, I think we start too late. Like, we start at first grade, but we know that by the time a student is in like second or third grade, they're already predicting the outcome of their, of their education, of their life. So if we're not, I think we really have to take a look at our daycare systems and almost regulate it, because if they're not properly like preparing their children to be in the first grade, I don't think they should be allowed to be daycare providers.
Right.
And I know that comes with a lot of controversy, but we'll never get a hit of the ball if we're allowing first and second graders to come into a system where they're already behind and they're already playing catch up. And it's almost impossible for them to play catch up because the teachers have to focus on the students, like passing passing like the they don't have like the what are those tests called? Those performance evaluations, not an SAT, but whatever the tests are, like when the child is younger. Like there's so much focus and attention based on the students, like reading proficiently and being proficient in math, that they really lose focus on the student. Because if the teachers, students aren't proficient, now the teacher's being looked at. And I think that is extremely unfair because they're coming in a lot of times just behind the 8 ball. So until we really put some effort into our school system, I just think we're just kind of spinning on wheels.
I think also, Trippi, even with testing, I think testing needs to change because not everybody is very good at taking certain tests. So yeah, I think that needs to be considered as well.
It does. And I just think that if anything comes from from our reparations task force that we just initiated on city council, it has to. I guess the frustrating part with me is like we already know what the answers are. So I think it's important that we do have these committees and these task force, but we already know like what are they really going to come up with that we don't already know. Again, I don't want to minimize their importance, but I think that we just know what needs to be done, but we just don't have the will to do it politically, and I think that's a crime.
How many people are on the task force?
Maybe like 12 or 13.
Okay.
Some really, really knowledgeable people too.
Yeah, I did see the list. So when is their time frame to come up with something?
Well, first it was 180 days, but they're gonna need more time.
Okay.
So that's kind of like a moving target, but it is a target. But again, like whatever they come up with, it's only gonna be suggestions like to the state, and the state already knows what they're supposed to be doing. So it's, it's like an exercise, but I don't know. We'll see. I hope that our state leaders have the courage and the care really to do what's right. So I think that schooling has to be number one, because we can talk about the prison system, we can talk about the court system, But if you have an excellent school system, you already have less people in prison. You have less people showing up that need to go to court, you know? But I think it's important that we take a look at our prison system, because we're not doing a great job of making sure that those young men and women who are going into prison are coming out rehabilitated. We're not giving them a fair opportunity to prove themselves once they come out. I don't think.
I agree with you.
So I think that we really have to take a look at what happens when a young man or a young woman is in prison. Like what are the steps? Like what do the prisons do to help them come back and get prepared so when they come back to society, they are ready to do better. They're ready to take care of themselves, ready to take care of their families, ready to take care of their neighborhoods. And we really don't do that. So I think that has to be a study from a reparations
And I think
committee.
that part, the prison piece, is like a whole show by itself, to be honest with you.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. We should actually have some guests on
Yes.
who can talk about their experience.
Okay.
I haven't been in prison. You know, I was in jail one day. I ever tell you that?
What did you do?
I didn't spend a night. I was in there for like 4 or 5 hours. So, you know, my dad. So this was probably like 30 years ago, maybe
You
like
mean in
25.
the turnkey?
I was in right. I didn't go to Gander Hill. I was in
Okay.
turnkey.
Okay.
So I was riding around. I got a ticket down in Elkton when I was going to work at the club, you know, Sammy and Cherry's club,
Yes.
and I never paid it. So it was like maybe like a year later. So at this time I have like a warrant out for my arrest. I never went to court. So, you know, my dad's friends with so many police officers back then. So one of them pulled me over. He knew, I don't know why I got pulled over, but he knew my dad. So he wanted to mess with my dad. So he was like, man, you got a warrant out for your arrest. I'm like, oh man, yeah, it was about this stop sign. You know, I didn't pay the ticket. I didn't go to court. He was like, man, I gotta take you in. I'm like, are you serious? He was like,
Did you cry?
he was like, nah, I don't think I cried. But he was like, hey, I gotta take you in. So they go in there and they book me and everything, and I'm in turnkey for a couple of hours until my parents come and get me.
What, in Wilmington or down
It was in
there?
Wilmington. Yeah, it was in Wilmington.
No, you never shared that with me.
No, yeah, it was. But we should have people on here who can talk about their experience.
I already want to bring my girlfriend Allison, who always is very transparent about being incarcerated and what things didn't happen and the things that she had to do on her own.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's extremely important that we really address some of the issues, the systemic issues that are happening in our prison system. So that's the second one. And again, our court system. I really think that we have to take a look at how we are sentencing people, how we are putting people on probation. That whole system just needs to really be investigated, and revamped, because we have all these studies of how, you know, people who look like us are just mistreated, and we're not treated as if we're humans in a lot of cases. So we really have to take a look at that system too. Housing, you know, you can talk about
being
that.
a real estate agent, it's real crazy. Your dad and I had this conversation. We was talking about appraisals, and it has been proven that an appraiser will come to a Caucasian home and their appraisal will be $40,000, $50,000 over if it was someone that looked like us. So when I'm putting a house on the market, I tell my clients, take all your pictures down. Don't have anything that looks anything like you.
Wow.
And
That's so sad that
it really is sad that you got to say that.
All right. So I think that's what I would like to see come from our reparations task force. Not necessarily we're going to give Wilmingtonians this amount of money, because I don't think that's a reality.
Yeah.
$5 million, whatever county, whatever state that was. It sounds good, but is it really going to happen? How you going to give 50,000 people?
I thought it was a particular family that received the money.
No, it was whatever area it was. They had $50,000 Black people. So they were trying to figure out who was entitled to it, but they said that the people who should get $5 million each.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's real.
We might be talking about two separate things, because I think what I'm talking about is their land was taken away from them.
Oh, okay.
And I think they were compensated.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about something. Two different stories. So, again, I think our reparations task force is going to come up with what we already know, but I think it's the responsibility of me as an elected official to put pressure on our state elected officials to make sure that we are really taking a look at least those four systems, well, three systems that are state run. You know, our public school system, court system, and our prison system.
I agree.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to take another quick break.
Okay.
And then
when we
Waynna.
come back, I
Yes.
want to, this is March and it's
Yes,
International
yes.
Women's Month. So I want to highlight something that I saw on social media.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back.
How did DETV start and how did you get here?
DETV started approximately 10 years ago in the basement of my home. I had an idea to show people of color doing great things, but what happened was I got to the point that I said, I'm gonna just show people all together doing great things. The motto and the moral was to bring people together instead of using media to rip people apart. And doing that, you know, I just did a lot of hard work, a lot of free stuff, a lot of things of just showing people being themselves. I figured that media, and I saw that media wasn't doing that, so I just decided just to give it a shot, not knowing that it would bring me to where I am today. I had a great journey doing it, met some amazing people, did some amazing things, worked on some amazing projects, you know, and with just a lot of hard work and a bunch of sacrifice, I'm here today. I done worked on everyone's campaign in the state of Delaware, and now, you know, I'm just doing what I do and doing it with friends. My biggest accomplishment right now would have to be this, hands down, without a doubt. We want to make sure that we inform the community wholeheartedly. So again, they can have all the information that they need. For more information, you can find us at detvch.com. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook under DETV. Be sure to check us out. Tell me what you think.
Welcome back to the Congo Hour. We are now, what are we going to discuss now, Trippi?
Well, you were saying that you wanted to recognize.
That fast, I
That
forgot,
fast, huh?
yeah. So this is Women's Black, well, it's International Women's History. However, Hanifa Shabazz posted this that someone else had shared that tagged her, and it's celebrating Black women from Wilmington's East Side, trailblazers still on the move. And it has Cherry Congo, grew up on Sherman Street. Cheris, there's a picture of her and Miss Betty Young.
Oh, yeah.
Ann
Oh,
Young.
wow.
Is the owner and operator of a Wilmington-based Congo funeral home. This family-run establishment has become a well-known and respected leader in funeral services for more than 50 years in both Wilmington and the surrounding areas. It also talks about Hanifa Shabazz, who grew up on Sherman Street, because your mom was on Sherman Street,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay, after serving 4 terms of Wilmington City Council in 2016, Hanifa became the first female city council president in Wilmington's history, and she's there with her family. And then it also talks about Maud Matthews, who was the owner and manager of Maud's Beauty Salon. And then it also talks about Aunt Madeline Bolden Johnson, who also grew up on Sherman Street. And she's here in a picture with the Westminster Choir in Princeton, New Jersey in the 1950s. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's
well,
what's
congratulations to all those you just mentioned.
Yes.
And really, thank you to all of them, because they are definitely all community leaders. All have done so much for people who live in the city of Wilmington. And it's and that's just from the east side.
Right.
Right, so.
Yeah, and that's not all. That's from the east side. That was
right.
just a handful. But yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, so we have to make sure that we recognize some more women on our next show.
Okay.
Because the whole month of March, you said that the whole month of March is
Yes.
International Women's Month, right?
Yes, it is.
All right, so we'll make sure we do that.
Okay.
Council related. So back in January, I decided, you know, everybody always wants to get in shape for the new year.
Yes.
Everybody starts going to the gym. Everybody starts
The
trying
new year.
Right, the new year, new me. All right, so I wanted to just kind of just bring awareness to people, to us, really living healthier, eating healthier, drinking healthier, thinking healthier, surrounding ourselves with positive people. So many times we get caught up in like the physical appearance, but it's really important that your mental is even more healthier than you are physically. So I just started an initiative through council where we're just encouraging people who work for the city, who live in the city, who come to the city, just to be healthier, whether that means getting some more steps in during the day, whether it means exercising or eating less, eating healthier, drinking more water, like meditating, practicing yoga, whatever it is. Just try to think of something that you want to improve health-wise. And again, physically, mentally, spiritually. And we just wanted to do that for 3 months.
Okay.
And then we wanted people to, check in with us, let us know how they're making out on their journey. And then we were fortunate and blessed enough to partner with Avelo Airlines, and they gave us 4 round-trip tickets from Newcastle to Florida for people who want to be in this initiative with us as a council body. So we're just encouraging people to go to our council website, or you can call 576-2140. Again, it's 576-2140 if you want to be a part of the challenge. And it doesn't cost anything. You just kind of have, like if you're on social media, you just have to tag the city of Wilmington, tag Avelo, am I saying it right? Avelo Airlines, and just we'll keep track of your posts, and we're gonna have a drawing, and we're gonna have 2 winners. So they will each win 2 round-trip tickets to Florida. So we're really excited about that.
And that's based on?
Just based on their engagement.
Okay.
And whatever engagement means to them, whether it's like, if they're on social media, hopefully they're on social media, so we can kind of track them and get their names in the drawing. It's just based on if they're at the gym, or if they're out for a walk, or if they're eating a healthy meal, or drinking a bottle of water. They can just tag themselves.
Am I eligible for this?
Yes, you are, because you just have to live in districts 1 through 8.
Okay.
Nah, if you won, you can't. Nah, sorry, you can't. You can live. You can practice though, but you can't win. People would be like, hold up, nah.
They would think it was.
Yeah, they would definitely think it was rigged. So we can't. No controversy. No scandals. Okay.
It's not a scandal.
People would think that if you won the contest and we're on the show talking about
are you the one
who's
that
the winner,
picks?
I
thought the names go on a hat or something.
know, but still, it wouldn't look right. I don't think it would look right. What y'all think? I don't think it would look right. What you think? Would it look right?
Y'all hit me up on Facebook.
He said it wouldn't look right either.
Who said that? The camera guy.
Yeah. So it's a no-go.
Like,
Waynna cannot
okay.
win, even though it's not Congo Hour related, it's council related, but still, people would be like, nah, something's fishy here. They would.
So, okay, so that's another subject then we'll talk about. But wait, okay, but on that note though, I definitely, the executive director here, Michelle, when I came in, her phone was going off and she was like, oh, I apologize, that's to remind me to drink water.
Oh,
and I'm like, dag, I remember we need to do that again.
Who?
Both of us.
I'm back. I'm on my grind. I've been eating healthier. I've lost at least, when I first started my journey.
You backpedaling.
I'm trying to give the whole picture. When I first started, I've lost 20 pounds since then.
Since when? Since January?
Not since January. I started like late last year, like in the fall of last year, just trying to eat better. I was home one day, just got on the scale, and it was like 226. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get a hold of myself. And like before, I'm gonna blame Duffy, because before I got hurt in Duffy's Hope basketball game.
So long ago.
It was 6 years ago, but still, that was the downfall. That's when I messed my knee up. Before that, I was like 180. I was like 187.
Okay.
So I put on all that weight, just not taking care of myself. It's all Duffy's fault. Okay. Oh, he knows it too. All Duffy Samuel's fault. So I've lost. So right now I'm down to like, I weighed myself this morning. I was 205. But I want to get back down to like 180 something. I want to see how it looks. People, I have a pretty big head. So people are like, Trippi, don't lose any more weight. Because my head.
I can't wait for the memes that Duffy and Wes and all of them will put
People
up.
already saying, like, people on council staff, Tracy, my girl Tracy, she was like, Trippi, don't lose no more weight. And I know it's because, like I lose weight in my face first. And I got a big head, so I know I might look crazy. But once you get used to seeing me at a lower weight, you get used to it. But I'm trying to lose like another maybe 15, 20 pounds.
Okay.
So we'll see.
That's
but definitely, just call our city council office, go to our council website, and it will tell you how you can be a part of the challenge and how you could possibly win a pair of round-trip tickets to Florida. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
But you know what? I want to say that on the health kick, I'm definitely into my mental health thing. And
yes.
I've been so at peace. I mean, not that everything is in place in my life, but
Right.
I am like at a peaceful state like I've never been here before.
How do you think you got there?
Going to a therapist.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's-
And giving me
I didn't know
the
that.
tools.
I didn't know that, and I'm glad I asked that question. And I'm glad that you were willing to share that. With,
I
with
love
all
my
of us.
therapist.
Yeah.
I've been to therapists before, but this one, her name is Shay Marriott. Kudos to her. She looks like me. She can relate to me. And she gives me tools, and I know that I'm healing because the things that trigger me no longer trigger me, and I know how to get in that space and don't let anybody interrupt it.
That's great. I'm glad you shared that with us because, we weren't, when I say we, like the Black community.
Taboo.
Yeah, it was like you can't go through a therapist, so that means you're crazy.
Right.
But now I think the world is so much more open and understands how important therapy is. And so I'm glad that you were able to see that you needed it and then to go seek help because we all need help. We all need help. So I'm glad that you shared our name too. So people who need some help can maybe contact her or just contact
The company. I'll give out the information and they can put it up on the screen.
Okay. Yeah, that's really important though. This is the society that we're living in now with social media and so much like instant access.
Yes.
It can become very overwhelming. And people just need a relief and need help. And there's nothing wrong with needing help because we all need it. So what would your message be to somebody out there who needs help?
To definitely seek it. But I definitely want to encourage women, to me, are more apt to go. So I want to encourage men to seek whatever help they need. Because I talk to people, my family, friends, and it's like, I'm cool, but you're really not cool. Like you really, we all need some help.
And they're professionally trained for a reason because they can help bring things out of us who just normal, like a normal person might not be able to do.
Right.
And I guess it's probably important to stress like the confidentiality part of it because nobody wants to go somewhere where they think their business might be talked about outside of that room. They're professionals and they are, obliged to keep whatever happens in that room in that room. So, I would definitely, like you said, definitely encourage men just to, go talk to a therapist. Like you never know how much it could really help.
Yes, most definitely. So, yeah.
So we only have a few minutes left, Waynna. It's going so fast. Our first show back in like 3 years. So again, we're just really looking forward to being a part of the community again as far as the Congo Hour and having community members come on, having business owners come on, and having Waynna's favorite part of the show, Sammy's Corner, having my favorite part of the show, the Student of the Week. And just, and honestly, we're open to whatever you all think, the Congo Hour, however you think it should look. So just please reach out to us on Waynna's phone.
Some things never change, and I'm gonna give him that for right now. So I don't mind. My telephone number is 302-521-7325. 302-521-7325.
I would give my number out, but people call me and I forget, and they're like,
"Yeah, don't. It's
don't call
okay.
Me. Don't call me.
We
We have to know our weaknesses, and that's my weakness.
Right.
So, call Waynna if you want to be a part of the show, or if you just have a suggestion, or if he wants to give you a shout out. Oh, speaking of shout outs,
what?
Mark. We gotta have Mark on the show.
Mark Reeves.
Yes.
That is
Oh, my
our
goodness.
#1 fan.
Once he finds out that we are back on TV,
he needs to be our first guest.
He does. Oh my, he does.
I'm trying to make that
yeah,
happen.
please. Mark is one of our greatest supporters here on the show and has been for so many years.
Yes.
He used to just call us up just to check on us and
pray for
my
us.
goodness.
Yeah.
So
I
Mark,
love
if you're
Mark.
watching, man, thank you so much for all of your love, and we would love to have you down here on our very next show. All right, I think we might be out of time.
Okay.
I know we wanted to talk about a lot more, but the time has come.
I wish we could do 2 hours instead of 1
I just want
hour.
to keep going. Who comes on after us? Maybe we kick them to the curb. But thank you so much for tuning in. It is great to be back, and just please give us any of your suggestions on how we can make the Congo Hour better. And next week we're going to try to have my dad on here for Sammy's Corner.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. All right. So looking forward to seeing you all next week. Please make sure you share with your family and friends that we are back.
All right. See y'all soon.